All right, sticking with the football theme, we're now joined by our very own David Wilkinson, who has a story of an inspirational player.
Yeah, Dom, when Murphy Vetter was born, doctors told his parents all the things he wouldn't be able to do in his life. Now at 11 years old, he's turning heads and inspiring others. As his mother says, it's just a case of Murphy's miracles. As another school day begins at Wyandotte Run Elementary, 11-year-old Murphy Vetter walks into the main building with his best friend, Matt Ashworth. You find out real quick that Murphy is one of the most popular kids in school.
Hi guys. What's up, Murphy?
And as a football player, he has his own group of cheerleaders.
Everybody knows his name.
I think it's awesome.
It is literally like being with a rock star. I mean, Murphy this and Murphy that, and I cannot tell you how wonderful that feels.
Wonderful to see their child accepted for who he is, as he is. When Murphy was born, the Vetter's world was thrown a curve.
About the third day, the pediatrician came in and said he has Downs.
After processing, the Vetters did what was in their nature. They took it head on. But it wasn't the only challenge they were going to face.
He was 4, almost 5.
He was aggressive, and he was banging his head on the floors, and he was hitting his head on the walls, and he was hitting everybody he could.
He would end up hitting me, so I'd end up hitting him, and then we both end up getting separated.
And finally I found a doctor who looked at me and said, I think it's autism.
And I just broke down in tears.
Once again, the family processed the information and went to work, looking to provide a better future for their son.
Within 24 hours, I found a center that did ABA, applied behavior analysis.
It's the only proven type of therapy for kids with autism.
The hope was that Murphy would receive treatment and that in due time, perhaps around middle school, he could leave. But Murphy was way ahead of schedule.
After about 3 years, we're thinking, you know, maybe he's got a chance that he might be able to get mainstream.
And that day came. Murphy was able to go to school, but the results weren't as hoped.
We put Murphy in school without an aide, which was a disaster. He had 680 aggressions towards other kids.
By now, you know there was no giving up. Instead, there was a solution. Send him to school with an aide. Matt Ashworth played football for Chris when he was younger and grew close to the family, and especially Murphy. He would be the perfect fit.
I was pretty thrilled about it. I mean, it was basically kind of getting paid to do a lot of the things I already do with him.
Matt and Murphy started going to school together full-time this year. The results have come sooner than expected.
He's picking up words that were more of like a social studies kind of basic understanding that you wanted him to get concepts, and those are becoming sight words for him.
He can actually interact in the classroom a little bit. He kind of does his own thing, but he's making strides beyond what we thought was possible before Matt.
This progress helped keep a dream alive Chris always had for his son, a dream Matt also wanted to see.
I always wanted a son to play football.
We were always playing in the backyard. I'm like, you know, football sign-ups are coming up. Get him signed up.
I said no. I was really worried because he had had 9 eye surgeries. I was really worried that something could happen. So just to appease him and Chris, I said I would call his eye surgeon and see what he would think. And his response was absolutely.
If I could have done a back handspring like my daughter at 240 pounds, I would have done it in a heartbeat.
Tina had one condition. Matt had to be the head coach. Once he accepted, Murphy got signed up and became the first special needs football player ever with the Olentangy Youth Athletic Association. By doing so, he was allowed to be on the field with all of his friends from school.
This is something he wanted to do. He loved being with those guys as much as I think they loved being with him.
For a family that had always dreamed of having a typical Sunday, this fall provided that. Murphy would play on defense at safety with an assistant, and he proved he could do it all.
Now he's tackling people, and I get so excited when he tackles. I go all the way up to the stands to see him play, and every time he comes in, I'm screaming on the top of my lungs.
I would be yelling, go Bobby, you know, yay Murphy, and he comes out on the football field like, yeah, you know.
Pretty much the biggest payoff to see how excited he is, and to really to put in all of the faces of the people who said he'll never do this, he'll never talk.
While there were bumps along the way, pain, tears, suffering, the Vetters wouldn't trade any of those experiences for the one they just got to see their son live out.
Great game, Murph!
So now I just say whatever Murphy wants to do, Murphy's going to do, and I'm just kind of along for the ride.
There's no end to the storylines. There's no words that can really express how far everybody had to come.
I think if I could have dreamed it up, I don't think I could have dreamed it up better. He got more out of it than anybody will ever know.
In his first year with the Bulldogs, Murphy helped lead the team to the playoffs, and you can count on him returning to the gridiron next season as